Join Gator great Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Hello, sports fans. It is PodUp with Matthews in the morning. Coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, right there at Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Swing on by. Go buy your ring at International Diamond Center. I don't know what made me do that. We got today's pro. We got JC. We'll have Keith Niebuhr from Gators Online on 3 Sports. We'll talk a little Gator stuff. Gators getting ready to crank up. If you missed it, we're going to start off with golf, JC.
Yeah, your boy.
I told y'all
did it. Your boy
I told
did
y'all
it.
he is so freaking good that people have no idea. You know, he is the only amateur golfer to win all 4 major golf awards in the same season. He is the only player to ever do that.
All 4 major golf
awards?
You know,
they give so for example, in football, you got the Heisman, the Maxwell, whatever, blah, blah, blah. There's 4 awards that they give out to the top amateur golfers each year.
Okay.
He's the only person to win all 4 in the same year.
Okay. Well, he also shot a tournament record for strokes under par at 25 under, winning the 3M Open, with everybody on the course screaming, Scotty is coming. And so he really managed himself spectacularly on that final round. And I'm really glad he made that par on the 18th hole to get that record. Obviously, it's about winning the tournament, but man, that course, it's a birdie fest.
It's a TPC course. That's what they are.
Good Lord. It's got a lot of water and none of it matters. None of that's really in play. I mean, so good for Jackson Coyven. We'll hear a lot from him, obviously. And he's now, got a big bank account deposit now. He's got entry into the Masters next year. He's got 2 years of status. He's going to be at the TPC. He'll be at the PGA and the U.S. Open. I mean, this kid's got the sky is the limit, man. He's only 21, so let's hope he doesn't screw it up socially, if you know.
Well, they say he's a lot of, I've talked to you about this kid for a while now, JC, with my connections to Gator golf boosters and things. A lot of the so-called experts out there say he is the best putter they have ever seen at any level.
Okay.
So we'll see. But Zach, throw up our Peachland Dental golf picks if you don't mind. I didn't write them down. The 1 week I didn't write them down.
I've got them written down.
I think I had Hideki.
I left the damn.
I had Gary Woodland. I think I had Jake Knapp. And then after we did our picks, I said, I probably should pick Jackson Coyman. So I probably would have won money with you, JC. A lot of money.
Okay.
All right. I don't even know where our picks are.
Well,
so JC, we are getting closer to football. We are, as Michael Schneider, one of our great sponsors, says here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. We are Chris Bilkey days away. Do you know what number Chris Bilkey wore for the Gators?
Which one? No, I can't off the top of my head.
Okay, he was a fullback in the Spurrier era. He was on the program not too long ago. We are 39 days away.
39?
Go meets leather.
Well, that's great, and I'm ready. I think it's going to be fun to watch these two wins at the beginning of the season. I think everybody's going to be really intense on what this team looks like as opposed to who the opposition is. So nice 2 practice games before the big one on week 3. And I tell you that Auburn game, I hate jumping ahead. I really don't want to do that, but that Auburn for their program and that Auburn game for this program is going to be a real trendsetter, I think, for the first part of the season. And the season's going to fly by like it always does, but that's going to be the one I'm actually thinking about. I know FAU's fun. It's the season opener, first ever. Everybody's excited. Then you've got this literally a scrimmage game with Campbell College or whatever they are, and then you play football again. So, I was looking at some of these things. Let me tell you what I found very interesting. I was looking at Hard Rock, and I'll talk about this more on Thursday on the betting show. But we have a bet between Florida and Tennessee that's posted on the site for more regular season wins, and Florida is plus a half against Tennessee. I found that to be interesting. So I'm going to go through a lot of those on Thursday. Another one that I really find intriguing is Georgia and Ohio State. Georgia, you're getting odds at plus a half against Ohio State. So you have to look at the schedules. Obviously, you can't just look at who the better team is. Here's one. Texas A&M and Kansas State are exact same odds. You would think Texas A&M is going to have more wins than Kansas State until you look at Kansas State's schedule. So that's something that has to be accounted for. So I'm going to talk about that on Thursday. But Florida or Tennessee, QB, who's going to win more games?
I'm not a big fan of Tennessee. I think they have not been very good the last couple of years. The year they went to the playoffs, I think they got blasted by
Ohio
Ohio
State.
State.
Yes, they did.
It was due to their running game. Not that was when Nico was playing, and
And their
everybody on
lousy
this
quarterback.
program knows how I feel about Nico
Yeah.
Lamaliba.
Is awful.
Stinks.
Yeah, he's not that good. He's not that good at all. But Tennessee at at Arkansas, at South Carolina, at Vandy, and at A&M. Those are not hard road games in the SEC. Home games, however, Texas, Alabama, and LSU, along with Kentucky and Auburn. So Tennessee's schedule, not necessarily the most difficult, but everybody's schedule in the SEC, if you just look at each team, there's not a breather for anybody. Nobody has really, I would say, what you would call easy schedules. And part of that's because now they play 9 games. So it evens it out. It means that one day Georgia's actually going to have to play at Texas A&M. It does mean that. It didn't used to mean that when they played 8 games. And all these people who scream and bitch about, well, it's going to be harder for SEC teams to get into the college football playoff because they play 9 games, don't understand the opportunity that you get by playing 9 games. Whereas a 9-3 team now could really possibly have a much better chance of getting into the tournament because of the schedule, which could cause them to go 9-3, but would give them a much better resume at 9-3 than if they didn't have 9 games. So I think these things matter, and I'm glad the conference finally did the right thing. And now everybody's going to get to play each other, as I've mentioned all the time. As I've said, that there are many years when some schools just don't play each other, and that's not a conference. That's just a collection of teams. And now we have a conference that is going to play each other. That's what matters.
Text on the Titan our text on for Gator Ron in Naples wants to know, Shane, what are the odds you pull out a wedge 1 foot off the green yesterday at 18? The great Jack Nicklaus always says, putt it when you can putt it.
Yeah. Jackson had a little wedge shot there, came up short, but he drained the putt, like you said. I mean, a 5 is a 5.
But it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
He had a huge
But
lead.
it only mattered for that course, for the tournament record. And I think that's kind of cool that this kid playing the first time ever at this tournament, his 3rd overall PGA event, but first as a pro, goes out there and wins it at 25 under. That's with the best player in the world right there in his back pocket, or back seat, I should say. So, yeah.
Another text from Alberto in Miami Lakes says, QB, with the Senate vote delayed and the midterm elections coming up, if Save College Sports Act were to be passed, what year do you see football fully playing under the guidelines of Save College Sports? I'm going to let JC answer that because I have no idea.
Well, I don't think there's going to be any activity from the government right now on anything related to college sports until at least 2027. They are right now trying to figure out whether or not they want to go on a 30-day vacation that you are paying for. Okay. 30-day recess. That is unbelievable to me that in August, with everything happening in the world and specifically in this country, that they're going to take 30 days off from legislating or from litigating or from discussing. So college football is so far down on the totem pole, it's not even going to be looked at probably until 2027. The problem is that everybody who wants Congress to get involved with college athletics, You need a standalone bill in those cases because I can't see them attaching that to another issue or another part of a bill, a bigger bill. I think that has to be a standalone bill, and that means they have to talk about it. And if they're going to go on 30-day vacations, and then they're going to go deal with the government shutting down potentially on September 30th. I don't know if anybody knows that, but on September 30th we have another shutdown looming. So I just don't think it's even on the radar screen right now. I'm sorry to say that. I really am. Barone disagrees with me about the 3 losses. I will remind Barone and everybody that Alabama went to the playoffs last year with 3 losses. The reason why is because they beat Georgia at Georgia. That's the only reason why they got to the playoffs last year. They were 7-1 in the league, but they won at Georgia, and that's why they made it. And if they hadn't done that, if let's say it was Arkansas instead of Georgia, I'm not sure they would have got in. But by playing Georgia, which you could say is another tough SEC game, that gave them a better win than maybe somebody else who they were competing against with that committee's opinion. So I think 9-3 with a 9-game schedule in this league, especially if you've got some premier quality wins over top 10 teams, is going to get you in. But with 12 teams, it gets harder. So that's why I think eventually we'll get to 16 teams. And I know you don't care about all this hypothetical talking points here, but I think that's kind of where we're at now with the conference. That's what they talked about at media days.
Injuries occur whenever and however, and it's never convenient for sprains, strains, and minor fractures. UF Health Orthocare makes it convenient for you 7 days a week, including evenings. You get hurt, folks, go see the good people at UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Okay. Yeah. We got a couple things real here we want to get to. Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mellon Law. Who do you think has more pressure on them? LeBron? Damn it, it went away. I'm about to pull it up. It was LeBron at Philly, Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills, or Lane at LSU.
Well, I don't think LeBron has any pressure at Philly. He's going to get paid $8 million. He's 42 years old. He couldn't care less. It might be nice to win a title in Philly. He thinks he's got a chance with that roster they have there with Maxey and Embiid. But remember, these guys, they don't play a full season. Embiid hasn't played a full season, I think, in his entire career. And I don't think he's capable of it. But it does make them better. All right, so then you've got
Lane at
Josh
LSU
Allen
and Josh
Lane.
Allen at
It's
Buffalo.
clearly Lane Kiffin.
It's clearly Josh Allen.
Josh Allen's a great quarterback. He's all Buffalo has. But Lane Kiffin, they're talking about $40 million on NIL. Okay, that's how much LSU has thrown into the NFL NIL. $40 million. They want him to win today. They are expecting the playoffs.
But most of the experts around the country, these different preseason polls, JC, they have LSU like 4th or 5th in the league.
Yeah, I know. It's a tough league, man. But look at the schedule. The tough game at Ole Miss and then followed by Texas A&M. That's tough. Then you've got really nothing until the end of the year where it's Alabama, Texas, and then at Tennessee, I guess. Look, it's a doable schedule for LSU, but I don't see Oklahoma on here. I don't see Georgia on here. So right now it's A&M, Ole Miss, Alabama, and Texas. Those are the 4 toughest games on LSU's schedule. That is tough. They probably hope to go 2-2 with that, win the rest of them. They open with Clemson. Don't see a problem with that. I don't know if Clemson has a quarterback figured out yet, so that's a problem for Clemson. Texas A&M will be damn tough, but it's a home game. It is coming off the Ole Miss game, so big emotional game there. Then you have to deal with Texas A&M and all those physical players they have on defense, and they're going to be damn good on defense. We kind of overlooked Texas A&M, but we shouldn't. That team was undefeated until they lost or should have lost to South Carolina last year, but they really fell apart at the end of the year. And so one of the things they asked Mike Elko at media days was, hey, dude, you've got all this expectation level here. What do you tell your team that was so close? And he says, well, basically look in the trophy closet. What do you see in there? And the answer is not a damn thing but air. So that's how you motivate Texas A&M, and I think they've got as much talent as anybody. So I think that's a team that we better not sleep on, and I'm glad Florida doesn't have to play them.
Hey, Mac on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, what's your take on the WNBA deciding not to wear the US 250 patch on their All-Star game jerseys?
Well, I think my quote was, QB, if you were asking me that question, is that I can't dislike the WNBA any more than I do right now. And I really don't even like talking about them. I think they are entitled brats. And that one, you know, the one gravy train that walked onto their presence that got them where they are today with people watching, they hate her. They hate her. And then somebody tried to tell me that Aja Wilson, I never even heard of who that was, but apparently that's the most famous player in the league. Aja Wilson was a nobody before Caitlin Clark showed up, or at least she wasn't watched that often. Now everybody's watching, and it's because of the girl that came from Iowa. I can't dislike that league any more than I do right now. I don't like the way they run it. I don't like the way they treat her, and I just don't. It's just not something
Yeah, I could care less about the
I find
WNBA.
zero interest in it. I don't care if it's easy to bet on. I don't care. I don't want anything to do with it.
Text from Rick and Jupiter on the Titan Mart text line.
That didn't really answer the 250 question. Sorry.
What's that?
I didn't answer his USA.
Well, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
What do y'all think of the comments made by Coach Summerall's wife that he has a bit of a feminine side and goes and does a manly and petty from time to time? I think she was just trolling her husband. Look, I know a lot of people that do those, friends of mine, male. I've never had one. Maybe I should get one. Have you, JC?
No. I couldn't sit there for 10 minutes. I can't even sit at a barbershop for 15 minutes for a haircut, much less go do something like that. My rule is I tell my wonderful haircutter person, if you can get this done inside of 15 minutes, I will tip you for every minute $5 under that total.
Oh, wow.
And she rips it. And then she doesn't talk that much. I don't talk that much. I sit there and we're out the door in 12 minutes. So she gets $15 tip on a $20 job. It's great. I love it, man. I love getting in and out of there so fast. And Katie's great. And I do say hello. I mean, I'm very, hey, hi, Katie. How you doing? Hey, John. I say, I'm your favorite client, right? Yes. Okay, let's get this done. Done. Then I'm out the door. It's wonderful. But a pedicure, QB? I mean, really? I mean, what is that? Is that where they play with your fingers or your toes? Which one is it?
Manicure and pedicure. The pedicure is the toes. The manicure is your hands.
Manicure is your hands? Well, I need somebody to take care of the arthritis. What do they do for that?
They massage you and do all that, supposedly.
Oh, maybe I should try that.
Go.
Yeah. But somebody play with my toes. I don't know. It's not my thing.
Daryl on the Titan More text line wants to know, you talked about this. Daryl, I think, was on vacation. He said, who's y'all sleeper in the SEC? His is Florida. He thinks we're going to surprise some people.
Yeah, Florida's going to win.
Oklahoma, and they're like ranked in the top 10 in America.
Oh, now I know, but they were picked in the league meetings last week, somewhere around the middle of the road. So, I mean, I can't really say I think Vandy's going to do great. I can't really say that I think Arkansas is going to do great, or Kentucky, or even Missouri. I don't even think Missouri is going to be. I think it's a team like Oklahoma who nobody's picking to win it. That's where you get the value if you want to try to monetize that. And Oklahoma's got a damn tough schedule. It's very difficult.
Brutal.
It's brutal. And yet, with a healthy team and a good defense, you can do things because defense travels. The quarterback stays healthy. He can win a game for you, and they will be better running the football. So I think that's the answer. Tennessee, we don't know about their quarterback situation. LSU, we don't know if they can run the football. You realize that LSU could not run the football and has it for 3 years. They're horrible. This is something Lane Kiffin's going to address. His offense starts with running the football. That's Lane Kiffin. And I just think that LSU is going to be very, very, very much improved in the running game because Lane Kiffin's offense that's what it's all about, running that ball and then getting going. And Mississippi, I think, is going to be tremendous. I mean, how can you not be with those two guys in the quarterback in the backfield? How can you not be scoring points with those two guys, regardless of who the new OC is? It'll all be fine. It'll all be fine. So I think Mississippi is a scary ass team as well, but they come here, they go to Texas, and they go to Oklahoma. So those are toughies. Everybody's got toughies, QB.
Everybody's got toughies. This is Southeastern Conference. Real estate attorney Michael Schneider, a UF class of '93 graduate, can help you save thousands of dollars in real estate commissions by assisting you in selling your home or land by owner without a broker. Contact Michael today at 321-345-7870 or visit them at maschneiderpllc.com. A few more minutes with JC, then we'll switch over and do some deep diving into Gator football with Keith Niebuhr from On3 Sport.
Yeah, I tell you, man, Florida's
Chris says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, QB was right, and Ball was picked for all SEC second team last week as expected. Not many Gators on those, which means nothing, make the ones after the. That's correct. We have some good talent, but the people around the country hasn't seen that talent play up to their potential, so to speak, or what have you. Somebody sent a text here with a screenshot. No, it doesn't have a screenshot. I wanted to screenshot it because I saw it. One of those publications, JC on Twitter, did the top receiver from each team in the league or whatever.
Okay.
Who do you think they picked for the Gators?
Well, I didn't read it, but if I were picking for them, I'd say it will be Singleton.
That's who they picked.
Okay, so yeah, but I will say this: if Dallas Wilson is actually healthy and plays every game, you will believe in him.
Yeah, he's a different type of player.
He's physical, man. Physical.
He's a big physical guy. Yeah, he's like an Ohio State receiver.
Yep.
But people are going to be pleasantly surprised at Eric Singleton. He's so versatile and can do so many things. I said either going into spring or after spring, I thought he was clearly our best wide receiver.
Well,
that does not mean Vernell and Dallas are not good receivers. They're just different types of receivers.
Well, and I liked what Summerall kind of left open for debate and for guessing in the quarterback room. He said he's won with two quarterbacks before. He says many teams have.
I don't think you're going to see two quarterbacks.
I know, but part of me thinks that Tramel's going to play. Part of me thinks
they probably will the first two games. Look, here's the thing: is like I will go back. I feel like we talk about this every day on this program. It's about consistency and trust of the guy calling the plays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I call plays, you can't call something if you don't trust that guy to operate it. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be a successful play, but it means, okay, if it's a bad play, is he going to protect me and not make it a horrendous game-changing play?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what goes into play calling a lot, and execution. Again, that's the big word. I might make up a bunch of T-shirts to give out. Execution. Because it doesn't matter.
I like it.
Steve Spurrier's calling the plays.
I like
If the dude with the ball in his hand can't execute it, you have no offense.
I like it. I agree with you, brother. I mean, that's
Barone says here, I think everything Summerall said points to follow. Look, this is not anything against Tramel Jones. And I saw somewhere where people wanted it. They were like, well, if Philo's the starter, will they bring in a package for Tramel? No. Philo's the better runner of the two.
Okay.
So,
well, it's good to have. Look, it's a good problem to have, right? I mean, it's a good problem to have. You've got to have somebody behind you because what happens to Mississippi if Trinidad Chambliss goes down? That's a problem right there.
Yeah. Yes, that is a problem.
So that's why it's good to have some help.
Yeah. Buck says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel. I saw this too, and I was a little surprised, but I'm not surprised. He didn't realize that Buster Faulkner has never coached a 1,000-yard rusher.
Well, I think this could be the year.
It could, but I'm going to tell people again.
Yeah.
He's a former quarterback.
Yep.
He's an air raid guy. They are going to throw the football way more than people think.
Yeah. Well, I get it. And I think it's important, though, to have some semblance of a ground game because that will make the passing easier. I mean, defensive coordinators are smart, QB. You know this. If they watch film and all this guy's doing is throwing it 70% of the time, eventually there might be.
Well, think about Mike Leach, what he did.
Yeah.
They threw the hell out of it, and they moved the ball up and down the field on people.
Well, we'll see. I know they're going to have a lot of weapons, and I think the tight end's going to be involved. I think there's going to be a lot of fun. It's maybe not fun and gun, but it'll be fun and something.
Yeah.
because they're gonna get the ball in the end zone. That's the goal.
Andy wants to know here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. Do you think Summerall will use the Gators' expected 9th place SEC finish as bulletin board material? I don't know. I mean, we were 4-8 last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think being ranked around 9th is pretty damn good, quite honestly.
Listen, I'm just hoping for 8 wins. I'll look at it that way. Where they fall in the league standings is where they fall. But to win 8 games, you're going to have to win some games that maybe you're not favored in when you look at that schedule. So, everything will change after the first week or two, first 3. After week 3, we're going to know a lot. We're going to know a lot because Auburn is not, they had a bad year last year, but they'll be better too. Everybody's going to, I think the teams that, with the exception of Vanderbilt, many teams are going to be better this year. I think South Carolina is going to be better this year. So I don't know about Kentucky, but Will Stein thinks
I think Kentucky will be the most improved team.
You know what? There's a total on the board that's at 4.5. And this is a fact. On DraftKings, you just said it. What team has the most money of all 130 some odd college football teams for going over their total this year? The answer is the Kentucky Wildcats.
Because of the guy that's in charge and he's going to be called. Well, he says he ain't calling plays, but I'll be damned. That's why he's a head coach at Kentucky.
That is. And
he is an extremely bright young mind.
4.5 is their total. 4.5 is their total. And so that means they have to win 5 to win that bet. But it is the most bet team to go over their win total than any other team in college football on DraftKings, which is the most popular retail sports gambling site.
All right, JC, we're going to get out of here. But as we get out of here, Zach's going to put up the posted picks from the 3M tournament. And I think I had Matsuyama. I think I had Jake Knapp.
There it is.
I think I had Brian Harmon. I think they were all in the top 15. Let's see here. Yep. Jake Knapp tied for 3rd. Hideki tied for 3rd. Keith Mitchell stunk it up. Gary Woodland was tied for 10th.
Yeah.
Your team stunk.
Sucked. God, Max Homa's garbage.
Your team played about like I played yesterday at Sawgrass Country Club from 7,300 yards.
It's the hardest golf course in Florida.
It is the hard, dude. So JC, one of our members, as you know, we had 2 groups over there.
Yeah.
He's a member there, and some guys had never played it. So he's okay, we're going to play it from where they used to play the TPC.
Oh, good luck.
Championship. 700 yards. It is so freaking tight, and there is trouble on every shot. And I mean,
they ought to try playing the TPC there one year to go back. But
let me tell you something. The Sawgrass, where they play it now, is 1,000 times easier than that golf course.
Yeah. It's a bear. It's a bear, especially when you play it from that far back.
Yes.
But hey, man, you like that kind of thing.
I love it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you had fun. And how many balls did you lose?
So JC, I shot. We count them all. We put everything out. What do you think I shot?
88.
I shot 88 with 2 triples. Listen.
I guessed it.
2 triples and 2 doubles.
That's 6, 8, 10 over.
Because I hit balls out of bounds. I mean, it is like playing in a bowling alley with water and sand traps everywhere.
You should feel pretty good about that 88.
I did. And I just T-ball. My T-ball's terrible right now.
Okay.
But I battled. I won money. That's all that matters.
Okay.
That's all that matters.
That is really the bottom line.
Yeah. All right, JC, have a good day. We'll
okay. Adios. See you Wednesday.
Let's JC join us on the Titan More hotline. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll be joined by On Three's Gator Online, Keith Niebuhr, talking a little Gator sports. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews and Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Schneider PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, Money Metals, Sensei Asian Bistro. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Rue's Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, International Gold and Diamond, Advocare, and MGA&A Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, be sure to call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Ever dreamed of catching a touchdown pass from Tim Tebow or Danny Warfel? Or taking a handoff from the legendary Steve Spurrier? Then you need to join the Florida Legends Experience on Sunday, August 23rd. You'll receive a personal video of your touchdown and your football signed by the Gator Heisman winner. Enjoy an unforgettable day of Gator greatness while supporting the incredible mission of the Isaiah 117 House. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com. Don't miss your chance to be part of Gator history.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother, Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football. Let's go. We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand. We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers and go Gators.
Gainesville's best-kept secret is finally being revealed. Introducing Sensei Asian Bistro. Located in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Sensei delivers a one-of-a-kind Japanese-French fusion experience that's as refined as it is unforgettable. Indulge in signature dishes like our smoked New York strip, Chilean sea bass, matcha curry, or the crave-worthy Chunggang chili chicken. Pair it all with handcrafted cocktails, fresh crudo oysters, or our premium A5 Wagyu tataki. Sensei Asian Bistro. Make your reservation today.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Gold and silver investors, find out what makes Gator-owned money metals different from other coin companies that often resort to high-pressure sales tactics. Not at Money Metals. For more information, visit moneymetals.com. Give them a call at 1-800-800-1865. Back to the Titan MR Tech hotline. We're joined by Keith Niebuhr from On3 Sports, Gators Online. What's up, Keith? How you doing, man?
Good. What's going on, Shane? You doing all right?
Yeah, man, it's that time of the year. What is the official day the Gators open practice?
August 5th, and there's a media day the day before that. So we'll get even more interviews as we head into the start of fall camp.
Well, coming off SEC media days, anything stand out to you, or what did you take away after being there?
Yeah, nothing really ever truly happens at this thing, Shane, as you know, but everybody's so excited to kind of get back in football mode. The biggest takeaways for me from a Florida perspective was just that, it's interesting. John Summerall is already a little polarized. He is, because it's the beat reporters at Kentucky and Ole Miss and Florida that have covered him for a while, particularly those at Ole Miss and Kentucky where he had assistant coaching stops. They all love the guy. To a man, they love the guy. They say he's the real deal. This is the genuine deal. But people who cover other schools that don't know him see him a few times, and they see this thing that they sort of think is a contrived routine. And I guess if you saw him, just being the greatest guy in the world and the aw shucks and, I'm not that smart, but blah, blah, blah. And he really is smart. They kind of seem to think, from talking to all these media people, that part of the SEC, those guys that work at those other schools or cover those other schools, they sort of think it's kind of a phony baloney deal. But so you have these two factions kind of going back and forth. The people that covered them, again, Ole Miss and Kentucky, now at Florida, say, no. We've talked to this guy dozens of times. This is who he is. Mm-hmm. This isn't an act. This is genuinely who he is. And I think the perfect example, where I would lean on this is who he is that I saw him. I mean, he wasn't just there. They don't just show up at one big media interview. They do an interview with us. They do an interview with TV. Then they go down Radio Row. Then they do XM Series. Then they sit with Nick Saban. And I mean, he was there, gosh, 5-6 hours. Okay. And toward the end, I saw him get on an elevator, and there was like a rush of reporters to get on the elevator with him. One in particular who covers Ole Miss, just to shake his hand. Like people who have covered him in the past. Now, this has nothing to do with wins or losses, Shanes, but this is a personality thing. The people that have covered him in the past truly love the guy, and just, I mean, they just gush nonstop. And I have a buddy, Shane, I don't know if you remember, a guy named Gary Smith used to cover the Gators for Gator Bait. He just covered him at Tulane. He says the same thing. He was around the guy every day at practice. He had open practices there. Can't do that in Florida, obviously, every day. But he had open practices there. He says, no, this guy's the genuine deal. So again, that has nothing to do with his X's and O's or anything like that. But I think people want to believe that their coach is the real deal. Now, the flip side of that, Shane, is Lane Kiffin speaks to the media the other day, and he's a changed man again. He's not on Twitter anymore. He's had this. He's talking about, if you just put your phones down, people really get to know each other and really talk again. It's like, man, where did he read that from? That's been written a million times. Now he's saying his kid told him, don't tweet. He's not going to tweet. Shane, he's going to be back on Twitter at some point, right? I mean, this guy, I like him. I'll be honest with you, but let's be honest. We know who he is. We know what he is. He's going to be back on Twitter. So you've got these two guys that are people are trying to determine what's fake and what's real and all that stuff. It's just kind of funny. But in terms of the play, like on the field, everybody's in love with Georgia and Texas, and it's sort of everybody after them, I think. Everybody's looking at those rosters and saying, wow, they're just here and everybody else is here,
Yeah, I had one of our listeners, Andy, asked, did he think this was earlier when JC was on? Did he think, with us being preseason ranked pretty much in all the publications in the league, anywhere between 9 and 11, would he use that as bullets or material? And he might. I don't know what his method is when it comes to that kind of stuff, but I think that's pretty good preseason ranking for a team that was 4-8 last year.
Yeah, and also, and Shane, not to discredit anything your group did in the early 90s, but the SEC is a little bit different now. There's more teams. Look who they finished behind in these preseason rankings. Well, Texas wasn't part of the SEC, Texas A&M. So I don't think it's a slap in the face at all. I mean, look, they won 4 games last year. I think they're going to be better, Shane. I think you and I have talked. I think you think they're going to be significantly better, but we don't really know. And I guess you could say that about every team in the conference. I get that, but there's certainly as many unknowns as Florida as anybody because they didn't win with these guys. You could argue maybe that's an even bigger unknown because you're trying to put the finger on why, if they have so why didn't they win? You'd like to think if you're a Gator fan, it was the coaching, 100% coaching, but it can't be 100%. I mean, look, Shane, I didn't play, you did, but some of the responsibility has to lie with the players too. So you're trying to figure out, okay, what was the problem? What were the problems? But no, I don't think that's bad. I think 8-4 last year. The teams that finished 8th or 9th in the SEC were like 8-4 overall. I think 8-4 wouldn't be a terrible first year. What it tells me, 8-4 means you are probably in the playoff picture at least at some point, Yeah,
I said this last year, and I'm going to say it again this year. Hopefully, we're in the discussion of the playoffs leading up to the Georgia game. I think that's a good point to be at. I wanted to ask you because let's talk defense.
Sure.
I think we have a chance to be very good on offense, and defensively, I do too. We got some really good linebackers. Jaden Woods, I know everybody's excited about. I think for them to have the season you want defensively, LJ McCray's got to be all the hype he was coming out of high school.
Yeah.
But I saw a clip where Nick Saban said he really likes his Florida team, but he's concerned about the back end of the Gator defense. Are you?
I am, but I will say this. I don't know if you know the guy Brooks Austin, the film guy.
I've heard of him and I've seen him. Yeah.
Great guy. He seems to know what he's talking about. Just fantastic guy. But he breaks down all this stuff. And I interviewed him the other day, and he said he was talking about the team, and he's very, very high on John Summerall, Buster Faulkner, and Brad White. Nobody's even talking about Brad White, the defensive coordinator, who had 3 top 25 defenses at Kentucky. And I'm pretty good friends with Kevin Steele, Saban's old DC in Alabama. And he told me, like, nobody's done more with less than that guy, than Brad White. Now he's got guys. But anyway, Brooks Austin said in this interview I did with him, and I didn't realize it until I went back and listened to it later. He said he thinks Florida could be elite on the defensive line. I think they could be pretty good, but elite now, elite changes the way I look at this team. If the D-line is good, the team should be good. If the D-line is great, then not only should the team be good, but that's going to make the back end look good, right? Like those guys. Now, to me, the concern on the back end is, Dijon Johnson's battling some health stuff. Kanye Clark, the projected starter at nickel. Now, they're very high on him. They are very high on him. But just a couple of years ago, he was a walk-on at UCLA. So if you're kind of like, okay, I get it. I want to believe the coaches' evaluations, Brad White, Chris Collins. I want to believe that. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking walk-on 2 years ago at UCLA. So you kind of want to see it. They don't seem to have a ton of depth. DJ Coleman, the good thing, the safety, maybe a projected start at one of the two safety spots. Could also play some nickel, in run type. Well, whatever. He could play nickel. Cam Dooley's a backup that they think highly of, transferred from Kentucky. But again, a lot of my concerns about the secondary are, like, how healthy are they going to be? Like, I'd feel a lot better if I knew Dijon Johnson was healthy, because you're going to get banged up. There's going to be injuries. How much are they going to have to rely on the true freshmen, C.J. Hester and C.J. Bronaugh at corner? I mean, you got to have a lot of depth back there, and I don't know that it's established yet. I guess Alfonso Allen's a guy we don't talk about much at safety, and he got a lot of good reps last year. So I think it's not only a concern because you're concerned about the depth, but also because you feel like, okay, the D-line looks like it could be pretty good. The linebackers, obviously, they got everybody back and they've got depth. So it's also a comparison to those two position groups too. Like, there doesn't seem to be as much top end, or maybe there is as much top end talent, but maybe not as much depth. So I don't know. That was a roundabout answer to say yes, Shane. I'm concerned, but I don't know how much yet. And I think the D-line, like
D-line will help. Pressuring the quarterback will help the secondary.
Yeah, and again, I my depth of knowledge. Obviously, I covered you in college, but I covered Auburn for all these years, and their two best teams where they played FSU for the championship and then almost made the playoff another year. What did they have in common? The common link was an elite pass rusher. 1 year it was Dee Ford. He didn't do great in the NFL, but he did in college. And then another year was a guy named Jeffrey Holland, who Auburn beat out Florida to get from Jacksonville. And he had like 11 and a half sacks, something like that, and a ton of pressures. So they were able to get off the field on third down. So you're not only creating havoc, you're not only forcing quarterbacks into issues, you are getting off the field on third down. And that makes a huge, huge difference. And so Jaden Woods tied for the team lead with 3.5 sacks last year. You'd like to see that number at least double this year. And then LJ McCray, if he can come in on the other side, obviously holding against the run, but creating some pressure from the other side, that helps. And then Shane, also, there's a lot of buzz internally about what Jeremiah McLeod can do as a rusher up the middle, which you don't always see, right? You don't always see those guys getting pressure. So what if he can get some pressure up the middle into the QB space too? That's a game changer potentially,
Gallo Car Wash is locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations on Northwest 13th Street, Wilson Road, now open in Jonesville next to Tioga. We got Keith Niebuhr here from On3 Sports talking a little Gator football. Text here on the Titan Mart text line from James in Nashville wants to know, Keith, in your opinion, we get one of these every day.
Yeah.
In your opinion, who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Gators?
Well, look, I've been covering Tramell Jones since he was like 15 years old. There's no bigger fan in the world of him than I am. But everybody we've talked to, coaches, everybody that's played the game, I don't even think I've asked your opinion, but most people think Philo having that edge of 2 years in Buster Faulkner's system, and while the plays aren't going to look the same, the system is the system, and that just gives him a good edge going into fall camp. So I will go with that. But like Danny Werfel told me, Shane, you better have two these days that can play, because all these guys last year in the SEC got injured. Austin Simmons went into the year as the guy at Ole Miss. He gets hurt. It turns out the backup's better than he is. But John Mateer missed time. A lot of guys got banged up last year. I think, did Lenore Sellers play hurt? I mean, there were a lot of guys in the SEC. DJ Lagway played hurt. And if Florida had, now obviously Tramell Jones is one of the guys this year, but Last year, he was just a true freshman. He was not 100% in spring, so he wasn't really ready to play. Like if they had a ready-made number 2, maybe things could have been different last year. So I like the fact that both these guys, I think they have one career start between them, but we think they can play. The players, all those guys internally said they can play, and they're having strong off seasons.
Yeah, I do think Follow will be the starter. It's nothing against Trammell. I like Trammell.
Oh, yeah.
I just think Follow, he's going to be more comfortable in the system. And yeah, I think they have a chance to be really good on offense. I mean, all you got to do is just know where to go with the football, throw it accurately, and let these dudes do the work.
Shane, they averaged 21.5 points a game last year.
Yeah,
and that was with 55 against Long Island. If you take that 55 out, it's like 16.5 points a game. And I kept asking, I was talking to Vernell Brown III the other day. I said, I think I cut you off, Shane, so my apologies. But, what's a realistic number? I think Buster Faulkner at Georgia Tech averaged 32 a game last year. Even 28 points a game, which seems very reasonable, by the way. Even that, which still isn't great, wins you probably 2 more games. So I agree with you. I think they could be pretty dangerous. They just gotta go do it, gotta prove it.
Yeah. Barone71 on YouTube, brought to you by Chloe Plum, says, I'm a fan of Trammell. I just don't like how so many in the fan base want to automatically hand him the job. Also, how they make false statements he's the better athlete when he's not. Athlete, it depends on how you define athlete. I was told, and I've seen, Follow's a really good runner of the football.
Mm-hmm.
Would you think he's a better runner of the football than Trammell?
They're different kinds of runners.
I will say this. If you look back at Buster Faulkner, obviously with Haynes King, Haynes wasn't a great thrower, so they leaned heavy on quarterback run a lot.
Yeah.
I would think if Philo's your quarterback, you will see some quarterback design runs here and there, not a lot. I don't know if you'd see a lot with Trammell.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I put out my little chatter column, and I was talking to somebody in the recent weeks that worked at on the Georgia Tech staff, a couple people actually that worked at Georgia Tech last year. And they both said that one in particular, that Aaron Philo is a lot more elusive than people really give him credit for. So forget about the running aspect, but running plays, you would know more about that. But in terms of escapability, they said that's one of his better traits. And again, if he can do that, that gets those receivers just a little bit more time to get open, get separation downfield. They thought that was one of the strengths. But one of them also said he's got a little Brett Favre in him now. He's trying to make some hard throws. But Shane, I'll be honest with you. I don't mind a little feast or famine in my quarterback. I don't mind picks. As long as it's not 14 picks to 14 interceptions. I mean, Danny threw 13 picks the year he won the Heisman, I believe.
There's a time and place when you have to try to fit a ball in or what have you. And, if it's a 50-50 ball, give your guy a chance on the outside sometimes. Sometimes they'll turn in interceptions, sometimes they don't. I will say this. Whoever the quarterback is going to know where to go with the football.
Yeah.
And they're going to be accurate with it. And that's the most important things in playing this position. I think that's why they're going to be pretty good. Andy's question for you, Keith, on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. What do you think our record will be against Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma this season?
But I think they're going to win one of them. I could see them maybe winning 2. I think they'll get one. I think the odds are with them. Look, Florida wasn't very good last year. Beat Texas at home. I think that's going to be a hard one now because now you're going there, right? And so that's going to be difficult. But you get Oklahoma at home. Oklahoma's going to be coming off of a pretty rough stretch, too, at that point. So you get Oklahoma at home. That's one to watch. I think Ole Miss would be the other one to watch because even though Florida's going to be playing that big emotional game at Auburn in week 3, that same day, Ole Miss is playing host to LSU. That is going to be exhausting. The game itself is going to be exhausting. All that goes with it is going to be exhausting. So I could see Florida winning 2, but again, Georgia and Texas, Shane, picked 1 and 2. I mean, Georgia 1, Texas 2. Some people think Texas is the best team. They have a murder schedule, arguably the hardest in college football. But Florida beat one of them last year and was a 4th down conversion away maybe from beating the other, but won 4 games. So you're talking about 2 teams that everybody says are way above everybody else in terms of talent in the league. And Florida was 1-1 against them and easily could have been, and you could argue should have been 2-0. So that tells you. Now, granted, the rosters are a little bit different. You get so many new guys coming in, but the foundations of those teams, Florida was right there with those teams. So if you're a Florida fan, that gives you hope. But I'll say 1-3 against those four, but with a chance at 2-2.
I'll
What do
take
you
2
think?
and 2.
What do you
I'll
think?
take 2 and 2 right now. I
Wow,
will say
okay.
this. I kind of got away from picking what our record's going to be, but I look at the schedule and I would say on paper, we probably don't have a very great chance of winning in Austin or winning in the Mercedes-Benz Dome against Georgia. But Ole Miss and Oklahoma come to the Swamp. I have no idea how 2 years ago we beat LSU and Ole Miss at home.
That's
No
right.
idea. I don't know how we beat Texas last year at home. So something about playing at home. And as you mentioned, you brought up a great point. Ole Miss will be playing LSU the week before they come to our place. I don't know who Oklahoma, but I don't think Oklahoma's ever been to our ballpark.
They have not.
So
They have not. Yeah.
And you don't know what the rosters, who's healthy, who's not. But if we can go 2 and 2, that'll give us a chance to have the year we want to have. Keith, good stuff. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I agree with you. You know, the battle of attrition, like what's Oklahoma got coming in there? You know, most people think they have a harder schedule than Florida this year. So that could play to Florida's benefit as well.
Yeah. Let everybody know how they can read your stuff. Y'all got any specials going on?
Yeah, we always have this deal, $1, get your foot in the door for like a week. But go to gatorsonline.com. I got our chatter column up today. Like I said, I talked to a couple people at Georgia Tech, gave some insight on Philo, Bailey Stockton, Trent McKnight, the receivers coach. And then we have chatter from the hallways at SEC Media Days and beyond programs. Shane, as always, I appreciate you having me on, Matt. Hit them well, buddy.
All right, bud. Thanks, Keith. That's Keith Niebuhr joining us on the Titan MR hotline. Castaway hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar. Built by Gators for Gators. Castaway hot sauce available at select Publix. Thanks to Keith and JC. Thanks to you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.